have heard of the Indian Spring Festival, Holi. It is a joyful time to celebrate the change in seasons, the beginnings of new life, and hope for a better future. People celebrate by covering themselves and others with powders of the most vibrant colors possible. If you are a woman or a girl, however, it is not always joyful. As is the case in many countries, some men use festivals to attack and harass women, and it's happened to me. Many years ago, my siblings and I were caught up in the Holi celebrations of the Versova fishing village in Mumbai. Unbeknownst to us, one of the traditions of that village was that men and boys would take out a procession along narrow lanes after consuming tons of alcohol. On that day, my siblings and I were on our way to church when we encountered a group of almost 100 men and boys on that narrow road. They surrounded us and groped us, and they touched our bodies, rubbing their hands all over, including our private parts, all under the pretext of celebrating Holi, whilst no one around did anything to stop it from happening. Since then, I hate Holi, and I never participate in any of the festivities. I often wonder how many women and girls do the same. I forgot about that incident, suppressing it from my memory just like I had all the other incidents of sexual abuse that I had faced in public spaces. However, one particular severe assault changed that. On 16 December 2012, in New Delhi, the capital city of India, a young woman rode the bus home after the cinema with her male friend. During that journey, a group of men beat them up and then gang raped her several times on the moving bus. They shoved metal rods into her body, pulled out her intestines, and then threw her out on the street, leaving her to die. The incident was shocking in its brutality. It forced, for the first time in India, conversations on the ongoing sexual violence. It lifted the lid on a normally taboo topic. Now, at that time, I was working in the aviation industry as Vice President Network Planning, where I was in charge of more than 500 daily flights. I had been in the industry for close to 20 years. The work was challenging, but I was still looking for my purpose in the world. And that incident in Delhi caused me to reflect on relevant incidents in my life. And I started to talk to other women about stories in theirs. And what I heard moved me so much that I decided to quit my job and use my skills to end violence against women and girls. Although I had no experience of working on women's rights and no background in the development sector, I took the plunge. And 10 days later, after the gang rape, I co-founded Safecity. It's a crowd map for sexual violence in public spaces. We encourage women and girls to anonymously share their stories, and these are then collated and aggregated as location-based trends and visualized on an online map as hotspots. The stories we receive range from verbal abuse to staring and leering to stalking and sexual assault and rape. And since we started a little over 4 years ago, we have collected more than 10,000 stories, not only from India, but through partners in Kenya, Nepal, Cameroon, and other countries. These stories reflect many men's deep lack of respect for women and their resentment of their presence in public spaces. Whilst every woman should have an equal access to public spaces as men, and the same ability as men to lead their lives, that's not always the case. However, this is not an India issue alone. It's a global pandemic, which affects 1 in 3 women across the world However, in India, this attitude of looking away and overall devaluing a woman is steeped in a deep patriarchal culture where the eldest male member of the family, he makes all the decisions whilst the women and girls have absolutely no say regarding their lives. So a lot of our work is focused on changing those attitudes and engaging men to be solutions to the problem. And my challenge with Safecity is to bring them forward so that they can break their silence around the issue. To me, that's the first step really in addressing the problem and seeking help. What I've learned from Safecity is that online data can help. We use these online stories that women and girls share to find and identify factors that lead to behavior that cause sexual violence and help us think through strategies for their solutions. For example, take this wall mural. It's on a busy main road in Delhi where there was a location of the tea stall. Men would loiter there whilst drinking their tea and intimidate women and girls when they were passing by. And when we asked the girls what would they like to change about their neighborhood, they said we would like the staring to stop. So we painted this art mural and staring eyes, and some of the messaging loosely translates in English to look with your heart, not with your eyes. And it was so effective, the staring and loitering actually stopped. And the girls and women can go to school, college, and work without fear of being intimidated or harassed. Changing cultures of violence is partly about policies, but it's also about giving people a voice. By making it easy for them to share their stories and report, and thus transparently showcasing this data, we can hold institutions accountable. We have several examples where on presenting the data, the police have changed beat patrol timings, increased vigilance, municipal authorities have fixed street lighting and made safe public toilets available. And in Kathmandu, the transportation authorities actually issued women-only bus licenses. So when a young girl comes to me and says she's confident to return back to school, or a young woman feels less afraid to access public spaces after it turns dark, or a young man starts advocating as a change agent amongst his peers, I know that I have pushed the needle of progress in some small way. So if you believe, like I do, that every woman deserves an equal access to public spaces, and every girl should be able to walk down a street without fear of being intimidated or harassed like I was during that holy celebration, then please join Safecity and me in making every city and country a safe place for women and girls. Thank you.